I was talking with some other military veterans recently, and it just seems as if a lot of our stories align as to how we were treated after the fact when we left the military. And one of the things I just wanted to say was, I think we are grossly mistreated as far as our exit plan is concerned once we do leave out. And this is more particular for the combat veterans, but it does still, I would say it applies to all. Okay. The reason I'm saying combat is because of just my personal experience, and then having conversations with other combat vets. A lot of things I talk about, could be information that I've gathered, but if I'm speaking, this is from my personal experience. All right. When I got back from Iraq in May, right? I got out of the Corps in like July, right? So 2 months later, right? And then I'm told, go be a civilian. Thank you, your service is done. What do you think? Then I started thinking, I'm like, through that time frame, I never had any counseling or any debriefing fully about the experiences that we had in war, or what it could have possibly meant to us. I was suffering from PTSD and didn't even know it, right? Because we're just told to do, and we just do it, whatever it is, right? When you go through that transition from one to the other, it's a transformation that needs to happen, because this life out here is completely different, and only veterans will know what I'm talking about, which is crazy, right? But it's okay. But the whole thing is how did the government take care of us after the fact, right? Because you're saying, hey, you're no longer military, you're now civilian. Completely different world. You're a trained killer and told to go play nice, right? The best way I can put it is like the Incredible Hulk. Right? You got Bruce Banner, man. He, smart guy, intellect, doing his thing, taking care of whatever. When that rage kick in, boy, it's uncontrollable, right? PTSD or any mental condition should not be taken lightly. Again, I'm speaking from personal experience, okay? I went through years, at least 9 years that I know of, before it was even like, something like, yeah, we need to get this checked out. And then even still, I'm still prideful, stubborn, bullheaded, whatever it is that we have, but I didn't want to get the help because we're told we don't need help. I didn't actually get the help till 2017. 14 years after I left the Marine Corps. And when you reflect back on what happened in life, you see the damage that it caused. All right. I just want the government to do better with how you handle combat veterans, or just veterans in general, when they're leaving the service. Like, I honestly think that we need minimum 3 months of just therapy, counseling, but probably more like a year. I'm thinking minimum 3 months. I guess it really depends on the individual, but I think it needs to be mandated, like in your contract. Hey, after you get done, you got 3 to 6 months of Mandatory counseling. It is part of your debriefing. You don't know what these people are going through. And to see the expectations of what's right and wrong, or what we're supposed to do, or whatever, I think it sets us up for failure. It sets us up for failure. We don't feel the same feelings that other people feel. We don't, it's not, you kind of look at life black and white, really. I'm talking about it either is or it isn't, period. If it isn't, and it's not trying to be nothing crazy, then let it be, right? I try to keep some of these words kind of just, I choose carefully, right? Because I understand the sensitivities of certain issues and dealing with certain people, but I'm telling you, when somebody is dealing with mental trauma or mental illness on any level, number one, take it serious. And number two, if they are not taking it serious, because when you're seeing life a certain way, you don't necessarily know that it's wrong, right? Because it's the way that you know. And so for the most part, of course, we're like, we don't need help, so we don't want help, right? Get that out of here. So be persistent. If you know somebody if you know a veteran, if you know someone who's been in the service, talk to them. Especially if you see them not acting the way they were before they were in the service, right? If the government's not going to do it intentionally, then we got to do it ourselves. We have to we have to police ourselves a little bit. So if you see a veteran, that you know personally, if you knew them beforehand, you know them now, and you can see the differences, make sure they get the counseling help they need. If they don't have the money for it, there's resources available to us. If you don't know about your local resources, first of all, have them contact their county veteran service officer, first and foremost, because he or she is a plethora of information for them. Number two, if they just don't have anything, man, drop a comment below and I'll send them directly whatever the information they need, because the assistance is out there, and you don't have to live life thinking that you're the only one that feels the way you feel or respond the way you respond. But yeah, they dropped the ball big time. They dropped the ball. That stuff should be mandatory, straight up, because I'm Operation Enduring Freedom. That was 2003. There's been many wars and many people coming back from wars and many things happening before me, and they've seen plenty of people being different when they report back to the civilian world. I'm sure there's got to be data on this. Right? Use that data, come up with a good formula, a good plan. It's really simple. Mandatory 3 to 6 months counseling, and then have the counselor determine what needs to happen after the fact, and then y'all pay for it. The veteran don't need to be paying for this stuff because y'all mess his head up. That's all I got.